Welcome all. Continuing our cloud journey from an investment thesis standpoint. There are many people who can benefit from this session. How to look at cloud, what is this cloud story? It's running the bull market since last couple of years, and this is a session that I'm breaking down into multiple small sessions which can be useful in assessing different cloud models and different cloud companies, what they do. And today's session we are going to explore the three different models of cloud deployment from a deployment standpoint. And deployment means typically the application deployment on infrastructure, and there are different investment thesis or different companies you could look at with the deployment model in place. Now, three types of deployment models are on-premise, which is private cloud. Then there is cloud itself, the implementation on cloud, and then there is a hybrid, which is a combination of both on-premise and cloud. Now, on-premise, let me start with on-premise, which is called the private cloud today, because on-premise is just an extension of the old primitive data centers that organization used to manage or maintain on their premises. But then how do the cloud concept come into place is through the computing through virtualization. Now, virtualization was a concept or the initial version of cloud, and in the private cloud, companies still has to manage the data centers on their premises, but they try to get many advantages of cloud computing like virtualization, the resource sharing and better resource utilization, dedicated centers, and they try to build the scale of economies of scale. Now, there are companies to look at in this aspect, especially these are very early entrants even before Amazon and Azure spread its wings. So these are things like companies like VMware, for example, one of the early one who early founded the concept of virtualization, and EMC being the partners with Dell, also is a leading player in this area. Then recently we heard the news that Amazon has tied up with VMware in order to expand into the hybrid model. So hybrid is a next step which we will discuss. What is cloud? Cloud, we discussed in many of the previous sessions, is typically the applications which are fully deployed on cloud, which with all parts of the applications being on cloud. And this deployment on cloud is nothing but organizations access the applications that are deployed through internet or over the internet. Right, so leading players are obviously the AWS, which is Amazon Web Services. Then there's Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud Platform. Then there is hybrid model, which is a deployment done in both aspects from infrastructure standpoint and application deployment standpoint. They are deployed on cloud as well as the existing resources that are not located in the cloud, which is nothing but the on-premise, also host these applications. Basically, it's a good approach for firms to migrate their existing application workloads to cloud, build new native cloud applications, and also extend their existing data center capacity, as well as build up the backup archive solution. So hybrid, as the name says, it's a combination of cloud-based deployment and at the same time having on-premise with the data sensitivity being a key factor and security being key factor, especially for financial firms who has a lot of constraints around PII, which is personal identifiable information that has to be secured. So most often what financial firms are doing are protecting the data side of that on-premise and secured, and exposing the applications and the API related structure on the cloud, which is a very good model. And hybrid is taking over and displacing many of the on-cloud or on-premise models. In the future, we have to look out for the hybrid model. As I said earlier, AWS is already tied up with VMware to promote hybrid models. VMware, for example, is a stock idea, which has outperformed in the market for long now, and the stock is just up 50% in last 1 year, and they are driving the revenues and the profit margins also significantly due to this cloud proliferation. So these are some of the theses that we can look at from a deployment standpoint. Hope this video was informative. Thank you.